Welcome, everyone. For we who are gathered here today are now privileged to witness and celebrate a true blessing, an act of deep and committed love. Our presence represents the joy and support of all who love them. On behalf of Geri and Brian, welcome to the celebration. Life is a journey, one that shouldn't be taken alone. It is for this reason we've gathered here today, to witness the joining of two paths into one. But before we bring these two people together to start their shared journey, it's best to understand why we're here at all. And to do that, like most stories, we should start at the beginning. Geri and Brian met through mutual friends. After the first few dates, Geri, fiercely independent, known to cancel the majority of her first dates up until that point, did her best to ignore what was becoming increasingly obvious to her friends, that this time was different. Brian, well, no one really knew because Brian doesn't tell his family anything, and he apparently also doesn't talk about personal things with his friends either. But this was the beginning of their paths edging ever closer. From this, they began to build a life together, though neither quite realized or planned it that way. From getting Brian to Europe for the first time to see the tulips, or Geri visiting a temporary city in the middle of a desert filled with fire and crazy people. From warm, relaxing beaches to the frigid north to watch the aurora borealis. The two traveled far and near, with the home and life they were building following them everywhere they went. Geri smooths Brian's rough edges and makes him a better man in countless ways. And Brian balances Geri, giving her a foundation to lean on, but most importantly, he does the dishes.
All of them.
When Brian's sister Jackie began creating this ceremony, she asked Brian to describe his world before he met Geri, how it changed when she came into it. His first thought went to an old philosopher's quote. With his first jump, he landed on the edge of the universe. With his second, he landed beyond. He went on to explain that before her, he thought he understood what life could be. You go to work, hang out with friends and family. But in some ways, you just go through the motions. This was his universe. But then he met someone and suddenly realized that life was so much more. That the daily routine and the motions were just that. Means but not ends. To get to where he was after meeting Geri. I also posed the same question to Geri. Her very first response when asked that was, "Oh my God, I don't remember." Geri struggled with putting into words what her world was like before Brian, because all of us here today have come to see her world was irreversibly changed once they met. Watching them together, you can tell that they bring out the very best in each other. They complement each other's strengths and they carry each other's burdens. If life before each other was a long slumber through the night, then we've been lucky to witness them emerge into the dawn of light together. From Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time, maybe you have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. And that, friends and family, brings us to where we are here and now, where these divergent paths meet, where Brian and Geri become two equal parts of a whole. But they are not alone. For as we know, while family is the core, their lives extend through all of you to join them in their journey, for better and worse, down this path called life. The couple wants to extend their thanks and gratitude to be surrounded by such incredible people. Their lives are so much richer for having all of you in it. Their path that much easier to walk, knowing they have all of you to walk beside them. True partnership is achieved only by separate and whole beings that retain their uniqueness even as they unite. Jackie wanted me to pass on some advice for the both of you. Is to hold space for each other, grow, and never change. Never stop communicating your needs, and never stop courting each other. Always hold your love to each other as sacred. It's said best in Khalil Gibran's On Marriage. You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. And my own advice is not that much different. Love each other for your similarities, but also remember to celebrate your differences. Our differences are the greatest strengths of them all. And Brian, keep doing the dishes. At this time, I'm going to ask the couple that they read the vows that they have written for each other. Brian?
I, Brian, take you, Geri, be my partner, loving what I know of you, trusting what I do not yet know. I eagerly anticipate the chance to grow together, getting to know the person you will become, and falling in love a little more each day. I promise to love and cherish you through whatever life brings.
Geri? Great. It's right at the top.
Whew. Brian, safe to say these past few months have not gone by as planned. The only thing that never wavered, though, was my wanting to marry you today. I love all of our adventures, and I'm excited knowing that our greatest one still lays ahead. You are my partner in all things, the calm to my storm, the love of my life. You make me feel beautiful every day and wanted, and I vowed my best to do the same. You are my best friend and my greatest adventure.
Now the wedding ring is an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual bond which unites two loyal hearts in endless love. It is a circle which represents the law of life that as we give to each other, we also receive from each other. The circle is also the symbol of the sun, the earth, and the universe, of wholeness and perfection, continuity and love. Let these rings be constant reminders of your commitment of love for one another and all living things. May we please have the ring balance. There we go. Brian, please repeat after me. May this ring
May this ring
forever be to you
forever be to you,
a symbol of my truest heartfelt love.
a symbol of my true heartfelt love.
Take it and wear it
Take it and wear it,
as a symbol of all we shall share
a symbol of all we shall share.
as we grow old together. Brian, do you take Geri to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you promise to love and cherish her through sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, for better or worse, so long as you both shall live?
Yep.
Geri, please repeat after me. May this ring
May this ring
forever be to you
forever be to you,
the symbol of my truest heartfelt love.
the symbol of my truest heartfelt love.
Take it and wear it
Take it and wear it
as a symbol of all we shall share
as a symbol of all we shall share
as we grow old together.
as we grow old together.
Geri, do you take Brian to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to love and cherish him in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, for better or for worse, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
By the authority granted in me... Oh, put the ring on. By the authority granted in me, according to the laws of the state of Connecticut, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Brian, you may kiss the bride. All right. The final act of this ceremony.
Oh, no, you just...
The final act of the ceremony is the shattering of the glass. This ancient practice has been interpreted in many ways over the years. Here, this glass is a symbol of the clarity for your love and for each other for the shattering of your old separate lives as you begin anew together. I now ask that you in unison Listen, step on this glass and embark on the next step of your journey together. I now pronounce to you Mr. and Mrs. Mott! And the reception.
We want to do a toast first, I think, so everyone can drink a little bit. Yeah. Great!
Tally ho!
Work! Don't spill it.
Before you drink that, I tell you my host.
Yeah, but we gotta get a glass first.
Still tell me.
Yeah, feel free to push follower the bride out.
Geri, Brian,
Why is Auntie Geri in on?
It's kind of a big deal right now.
I'd like you to know that my grandparents in 1918, in the last pandemic, got married. Just like you. They had a small wedding, just like this. And they enjoyed it. Later on in life, they had a lot of kids and a lot of grandkids. And I went to their wedding. He gave another wedding later on their 50th anniversary. And we all had a great time and a great wedding. And I hope everything like that happens to you both.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you so much for my family and my new family. Obviously, I'm emotional, but like, this obviously didn't come as we planned it to be. 2020 has been a very crazy year. I said it in my vows. The one thing that was always clear through everything is marrying Brian, and I need to keep my composure. But I just want to say I'm so appreciative. My sisters came out so hard for me when my wedding was canceled. Jed brought home 1 billion flowers. Michael has stereo and speakers. Jill was offering me to bring stuff every other day. Alex came up last weekend. Naomi, you've been there the whole way. Jerry too. I feel so blessed in this life. And with everything going on, it's nice to have something so solid. And I'm so happy for us and the rest of our lives together. And I appreciate all of you for being here and doing everything that you've done for us. All 32 years and now.
Here, here. Thank you.
Yeah, we love
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, I have something to say. Would you like me to do it now or at dinner? Or?
Go
Go
now.
for it. I need more champagne though.
Let me pour it.
Okay.
Let me pour it, please.
Sure,
Please.
Oh yes, we've moved the roles now.
Yes, now I'm the bartender.
Yes, Alan is now bartender. Oh,
See, I know how to go. Yeah, you know. You think I don't know?
Alan, you have.
I think it's my first time pouring a glass of champagne.
I think also you should get a gig-cular wedding.
I know. Well, I need to pivot somehow.
I was gonna
because
say
my bar's not
in a
open.
future life, Brian and I own a wedding venue, and Alan's gonna manage that bar. But that's a totally different lifetime.
Not manage the whole thing.
You front of house manager, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex, Brian's big brother. This is an intimate group, a little more intimate than Brian and Geri intended. Screw you, Corona. There's a lot of kids around. Although you two thrived through this pandemic, so that's certainly a testament to your relationship. I know there's a throng of family and friends who wish they were here. My sisters, Jackie and Sydney, foremost among them. Brian and I started our young lives as best buds. Later in our middle school, high school years, we both struggled in our own ways and fought a bit. Once we entered our later high school years, we began to appreciate one another again and look out for each other. I considered Brian my best friend for a long time.
So represent from the Dempster side a little bit. Geri asked me not to speak. And I know
That's not true.
I want to ensure they have the chance for some sunset pictures later. So I just want to say I'm so happy for the two of you. I'm so happy that we could all be here despite everything. And thank you for letting me live vicariously through you in a Pinterest wedding that I never got. Cheers!
Cheers.
Pressure's on. I'm really just to reiterate what Geri said. We love you all so much, and we are so thankful for having everyone in our life. I'm sure there's times where, you know, it doesn't always feel that way, but we do, in our internal conversations, we had a lovely face mask, lovely speeches. The fact that I missed my pants at your wedding doesn't really matter. The fact is, you forgive us for our faults, and you love us for who we are, and we appreciate that so much, especially in these crazy times, even more so. So again, thank you, and a toast to all of you. Thanks for being here.
We love you.
Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes? Or is
Jerry got it made. Yes. From the
Oh, my hair is all over the place.
Alright. Also he goes. If you want. Geri and Ryan.
Oh, watch out. You can watch out. Okay?
That's Ryan. Geri and Ryan. Yay! Yay! Cake is the best part of every wedding. Yes! But you think there's a big I want both cakes.
99 layer cake. Wow.
Back up, boys.
99 later.
Back up. Feeding me first?
I want both.
Yeah, I want both.
I want a slice of that and one of this. Yeah.
But of course.
I'm slice of that and one of those. I want a spoon.
Oh, pretty good.
Your cake?
It's official.
I'm hungry more.